We are at a profound moment of educational transformation where we are moving to a modern, bottom-up educational ecosystem that's increasingly characterized by individualization and innovation. Affluent families have always had school choice. Since 2020, we're extending education choice to lower income and middle income families so that they are able to have the choices that affluent families have long had. I am Kerry McDonald. I'm a senior fellow at the Foundation for Economic Education. I'm the author of the book Joyful Learning, and my work really focuses on inspiring entrepreneurial parents and teachers to seek and build the education that they need and want for their children. This is really a bottom-up movement of entrepreneurial parents and teachers building what they can't find and transforming education in meaningful ways.
This is Stand Together Presents. Stories, ideas, and advice from changemakers tackling our biggest challenges.
As my older daughter approached kindergarten, my husband and I decided that we would homeschool her. And I sort of put all of that experience together in my 2019 book, Unschooled, that not only sort of documented our family story, but also looked at the kind of growth and diversification of the modern homeschooling movement and this nascent microschooling movement. A recent study by Gallup in partnership with the Walton Family Foundation found that student disengagement is quite high, that many students don't feel that they are learning interesting content, that they don't feel that their content is relevant to them, that they don't feel optimistic about the future, either their future or the future of society. I think what we see in the modern, innovative education movement is accessibility, so that more and more families are able to find just what they're looking for their child and to find different things for different children. The fact that these programs are typically low cost, that often are covered under a state's school choice policies, make them more accessible to more families and encourage more education entrepreneurs to open new schools and spaces. Our best estimates now are that there are over 100,000 microschools operating across the country. Most of the microschools and low-cost private schools and hybrid homeschooling programs that I've profiled have been started by former public school teachers who are looking at a different way of approaching education, or parents who couldn't find what they were looking for in their own communities and went off and built something that they felt was going to work for their kids and found that many others in their community wanted the same thing. So not only has interest in alternatives to conventional schooling grown since 2020, but we're also seeing a growth in school choice programs since the pandemic. So since 2022, we now have more than a dozen states that have universal eligibility, meaning all K-12 students in the state are eligible to access a portion of state-allocated education funding to follow families to their preferred educational environment. And in many states, those environments include microschools and low-cost private schools and homeschooling collaboratives and other kinds of innovative models. The National Microschooling Center finds that nearly 3/4 of today's microschools cost less than $10,000 a year, so significantly less expensive than traditional private schools and significantly less than what the average per pupil expenditure in public schools is across the country. And if you add in a school choice program like an education savings account program or a tax credit scholarship program, at $7,000 or $8,000 per student per year, families can often attend these programs tuition-free. I think what's particularly exciting about today's innovative education models is their diversity. So there are schools for every type of learner and more being created every day. In Joyful Learning, I talk about schools that are being created just for LGBTQ+ youth. There are schools for BIPOC youth and Afrocentric schools in some places where entrepreneurial educators felt that they wanted a space that would be culturally relevant. There are schools for neurodiverse learners who often don't find their needs are being well met in a conventional classroom. Young people are thriving in these innovative education models because they have their individual needs met and they're in nurturing, learner-centered spaces. And parents are thrilled because they don't have to spend hefty tuition bills. We're finally able to see glimpses of that choice, variety, and abundance in K-12 education that we enjoy in all other parts of our lives. And it's because of these entrepreneurial parents and teachers who are building these innovative schools that families want.
Stand Together partners with changemakers tackling our biggest challenges. To see more stories, follow our channels. And to learn more about how you can partner with us, go to standtogether.org.